You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, Charge and Hayner present Zoom the TBT, and we are going to go with our Charleston regional preview. And we're moving on to the upper left pod, the 1-16-8-9 matchups. And Charge, what are you looking at here? What's the most interesting thing you're seeing early on?
Yeah, no, the most interesting thing I think is this, 4-team kind of pot has three of probably the most well-known TBT teams in history. When you look at Sideline Cancer, Primetime Players, the Fort Wayne Champs, which is adds a lot of kind of history to it. But then you get Founding Fathers first year in, and these guys generated a ton of excitement in the application period. Has a great fan base. Their folks were really rallying behind them. So I think just a great pot of kind of with old with the new energy, and I can't wait to see how this thing plays out.
Great time to introduce our guests. We're honored to have Chris Thomas, coach and GM of the Primetime Players, off another trophy for his team. And also Kevin Albright, the head coach, and Andre Nathan, the wing for Founding Fathers. Gentlemen, how are you all doing tonight?
Good. Excellent. Happy to be here.
Yeah, great to have you guys here. So let's get right into the matchups. We'll start with you guys in the Founding Fathers, the 1-16 game. So obviously everybody's trying to be the new I'm forgetting the name of the Virginia team. I'm actually blanking. Everybody wants to get that 16-1 win, right? Everybody wants to try to get that. Every 16 seed obviously is facing long odds because the one seeds are all quality. They may have given you possibly the worst matchup. We think Sideline is one of the leading contenders there. So Kevin, how are you scheming to face the longtime veteran Sideline Cancer guys?
Yeah, we have a few tricks up our sleeves, so we won't divulge too much on here, but we're excited.
No one watches the show. Don't worry about it.
We're excited with the matchup. We respect Sideline Cancer a ton. Their run last year was remarkable. But to be honest, we're trying to emulate what they have done a little bit and come in with a chip on our shoulder, being the underdog, and kind of surprise some people. So we don't think they're going to be complacent by any means, but we're coming in with a reputation that some people don't quite know. They don't know our roster all that well. So we're hoping to make a splash. And like I said, we got a few tricks. So we'll throw a few different things at them. We're hoping to match their guard play. We got a really strong backcourt that we feel good about. So we're excited. We're excited to be in the field. We're excited to draw Sideline Cancer. Ton of respect for them, but you never know. That's why you play the game. That's why they play a game.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so you're speaking about the guard play, and obviously the Sideline Cancer, very storied, team of guards there. But you guys have Andre Nation, so let's talk about Andre a little bit. And so obviously your first year to TBT. What are people going to be surprised about JMU, or I guess Founding Fathers? Better use the official name, the Founding Fathers, when you guys hit the court.
I think for us it's going to be athleticism. I think we're going to shock people with a little bit of athleticism that we have 1 through 5. We're going to come with great energy. We're going to come defensive minded. I think that's what helped us, win a championship at JMU in 2012 and 2013. So that's what we're really looking forward to bringing. We're just trying to bring a little bit of excitement and fun because that's just how we play.
That makes sense. And honestly, it's an interesting matchup because the thing about this game is you guys are under no pressure. You're a first-time TBT participant. You've already succeeded in the sense you got your bid, you have a credible roster, you have a following, you've made yourselves a name and gotten some fan engagement. So already literally that's all you ask of any first-year program in this event is to come in correct. So there's really no pressure. So how do you plan to capitalize? And this is for either Kevin or Andre. All the pressure will be on Sideline. How do you plan to get the crowd behind you to increase the pressure against them? And how do you plan to make them eat that pressure?
Yeah, sure. Like I mentioned before, we're kind of flying under the radar. So we're taking it one game at a time. We'll prepare for Sideline as best we can. We obviously have some film and things along that line of them. So we're preparing that way. But again, we're just going to play with a ton of energy. We're going to try to make them as uncomfortable as we can, predominantly defensively. We're hoping to ramp up the energy. And hopefully, like you said, that'll switch some of the pressure onto them. Because if we're in a tight game, we know they got Marcus Elam, as they like to call him over there. But the Elam ending, anything can happen. So we're hoping to play them tough and make some noise at the end during the elam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just great timing. I don't watch a lot of women's college World Series of softball, but apparently you guys did pretty good this year with the women's tournament. And the fan base that you guys have in just a short amount of time under Founding Fathers has been incredible. You guys have some, some predominant women on the team coaching, playing. So, Andre, how excited are you to see that representation on Founding Fathers?
It's very exciting for me. I think, just getting the women's and the men's team together and just trying to form that alumni, that basketball alumni. That's something that I think is big for us and big to come in many years. Our women's team have been really good, since I've been there, and that was years ago, 2012. And I'm sure they've been good since up to that. So we want to bring them along too, because they're a part of the basketball culture at JMU. So it's definitely huge to have those, Nikki and Kamai on our team, along with other players, that play through the program and things like that. Really, it's just for us just to try to build our alumni up.
So I'm looking at the map right now, and I'm seeing that the campus is only literally 238 miles from Charleston, where they're playing games, literally to the mile. So is there a bus? Like, how are we going to get how the GMU kids, how are we going to get them there to help make this crowd on your side? Is there a plan to get the kids out there? Like, how's this going to happen?
I don't know. That's something that we definitely need to talk about, because I can remember them doing that when we were, going on our championship run and things like that. And they were a huge help. I mean, they came to our championship game on a Monday night with like 5 buses full of people. So, that is something interesting that, we could probably look into it and have that again, because we're definitely going to need, JMU in the building with us to help win us that game. So
I think tickets might still be available too. So get out there, come join us in Charleston and watch these games. Okay, let's go to this next matchup now. Obviously we've got some and this is one of those games, like, unlike the Purdue Tennessee alumni game where they're clearly both underseeded, the seeds feel right. These do feel like 8-9 teams. Chris obviously has a credible roster, so eight's an appropriate seed here. But this is going to be a bloodbath, right? This is just going to be a physical game, isn't it?
Yeah, I just hate the matchup from a personal standpoint. Obviously, we know Garrett and Chris probably as well as any other GMs in the tournament. Talking TBT with them for many years now. So I just hate the matchup. I think it is a fair matchup, and what you see a lot this year was a lot of alumni teams facing off against alumni teams. Some non-alumni facing off non-alumni. But yeah, this will be a battle. I mean, we can run down West Virginia and talk about the games here, but everyone is so deep, and there's going to be so many must-see games in primetime. Fort Wayne is going to be one you do not want to miss.
Definitely. So, Chris, how are you preparing for this? Obviously, you guys will play anyone, anywhere. I mean, that's just how it works for you guys. I think you would literally go play a game in Turkey right this minute if someone said there's a trophy on the line. So, like, is this sort of just one more thing? We'll play anyone. Like, how are you preparing for these guys?
I mean, we will play anyone. And, of course, like with Garrett, I was surprised when we were seated with them because, me and Garrett we've been in communication since the first year we were both together in 2015 in the TBT. And we always get together and talk junk about all the other teams, all about the other GMs and everything else. Then all of a sudden the bracket comes out and, here we are, we're playing each other, and we talked the whole time last year leading up to the TBT because, we were both bubble teams that, we were both looking at, alternates to be in there. And so we were talking the whole time about all that. And we talked all this off season. And then as soon as he got the news that we were playing each other, he was in my inbox and he was like, man, damn, they had to do this to us.
Yeah, and so one of the things Garrett pointed out when we were on there is that he obviously would rather play someone else in the first round because it's going to be a tough matchup and playing a friend. But one of the advantages he has is that he knows your team fairly well. You've had a lot of the same players playing TBT year after year after year. Kind of knows your tendency. So how are you going to? Obviously, can't give away too much, but is that going to be a challenge for you? Obviously, Garrett knowing too much about primetime players.
I mean, that's not really the truth this year because it's a little bit different. Normally we've always brought in most of our guys from the ECBL season, and we've kept those guys and and really maybe brought in 1 or 2 guys. But this year, we went out and made a couple additions that we felt like that we needed to make to, to get over that hump. Because I mean, we've been to the Super 16 twice, and it seems like every game we lose, it's in dramatic fashion, either on a fadeaway 3-pointer off of 1 foot stepping out of bounds, or off of a turnover for a dunk at the end of the game, or something crazy. But this year, we brought in Keyshawn Sherrill, Trey McCallum, and Trevor Booker, which is a total difference maker, and bringing those guys in. Those are pieces that we felt like that we needed to go with what we already had. So I mean, and there's not going to be any film on the group that we're bringing, so they won't be able to study us getting up into there and stuff like that. And we're starting training camp on the 11th, and we'll be in training camp for a week, and then we'll show up and we'll be up there ready to play. So I mean, we know a lot about their players too. So it'll be a chess match, but we're definitely coming up there with the plans on beating them and playing Sideline Cancer.
It's going to be like, hang on. It goes
Not so fast. Not so fast.
You better start scouting founding fathers, Chris. Come on.
Yeah. So actually, this is my question here. I was going to ask this, but you kind of poisoned it, but I'll ask it anyway. So, Chris, it's in your best interest, if you're lucky enough to get past a tough Fort Wayne team, to try to dodge Sideline Cancer. You're a veteran of the event. Do you have any advice for our young friends from JMU to help them out? You're probably one of the most known quantities of this tournament, and you'd be helping someone who'd be helping you. So any advice for Kevin and Andre on how to slay the dragon that is Sideline?
Well, the biggest thing is I mean, it's just like they had said before, they were up under the radar. So, and there's no reason why they can't. The first year we played in it, we were a number 24 seed, I believe. And we played the number 1 seed overall in the second round, because we had gotten a bye back then. You could get in by votes. And so we were the number 24 seed, and we had to play the number 1 seed, which was a team, Brothers That Ball.
They were good. That's Selby's team. That's Selby's team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we were up on them by 40 points, and the police escorted them out of the game with 5 minutes to go, and they quit. So I mean, it's all about, these guys don't know what you're bringing to the table. And I mean, we came out, we were hitting every shot we took, and my guys were all locked in. And I mean, it was a great experience going in there. And my guys didn't go out there and be like, oh God, all these guys have played pro ball, this and that. We came out there with a chip on our shoulder, ready to play, and we knocked them off. And then we ended up knocking off, a couple other good teams that made it to the Super 16 that very first year that we played. So I mean, it's definitely with the group that's on the Founding Fathers team. I was looking at their roster a minute ago. I mean, these are guys that are familiar with each other. They're not just a group of guys that are thrown together. So if you're familiar together and these guys have played together and they know each other, there's no reason why they can't go out there and beat somebody.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting too, because I think there's a lot. So did you get a lesson out of that after the insult, Kevin and Andre? Was there a lesson in there for you guys?
Absolutely. We couldn't agree more. We think we're capable.
But
okay, so let's go to the picks. We've got some pretty interesting things. So again, like it's pretty interesting here. We're really split on the Fort Wayne primetime game. Kevin, Andre, you've got a lot to prove. I guess the whole thing is, right, you can just prove us wrong, right? Make us all look like fools, correct?
Absolutely. We're not surprised by the picks by any means. And being a fresh team, we didn't expect people to get picked. That's going to fuel our fire a little bit.
Okay, well, there's your bulletin board material. And Chris, you can see how closely this is split. We both picked against you, but this is one of the toughest picks on the board. We really think the winner of this will be a credible opponent against either Sideline or JMU.
Yeah.
All right, any closing thoughts?
I want to comment on the Fort Wayne, but Andre, were you trying to jump in there?
No. I was laughing.
Gotcha. But hey, we'll have a lot of purple in that game, so Sideline may get confused. Start rooting for the JMU team. But yeah, so looking forward to seeing that the arena filled up with a bunch of purple. And so Chris, obviously I picked against you. So let me coin toss 8-9. Fort Wayne got the fan vote. So I don't know if you kind of got some of the history behind that. I was on the panel that selected Fort Wayne, and if they win, then I get a new pair of Pumas. So no pressure on you. But
size 6? What size you wear? Charles, what size you wear? Size 6?
What's that?
What do you wear? Size 6?
No, come on. So yeah, don't deprive me of Pumas, Chris. I don't know.
Well, my wife always keeps me in those Air Max up tempos. I could get her to hook you up with a pair of them for sure.
Chris, Charge, you cheap bastard. You're willing to make a pick based on just a pair of fucking shoes. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, this one here for real though. Coin toss. I mean, this is probably
it's too close to call.
And all these matchups in West Virginia are ridiculous. But I don't know how many people were on that vote call. But yeah, so that's what's riding on it, Chris. So if people are booing you if you win, they probably selected Fort Wayne to get into play-in game or be the last selection.
I mean, if Fort Wayne, like you said, getting in as the last selection, I mean, that'll be a chip on their shoulder. I'm sure of that. And I mean, we're looking forward to playing them. And my biggest thing is that we don't care who we play. We just want to play against teams that, that everybody thinks we can't beat. And we go out there and beat them. That's just, hey, that means that's even bigger statement about our team if we go out there and beat these teams. The same with us and the Founding Fathers. I mean, those guys go out there and knock off Sideline Cancer, like they said, they're going under the radar. These teams aren't thinking they're going to win. They go knock them off. That's the only thing you're going to see on ESPN that night. They're going to be talking about that, big time. And then they're going to be then they'll probably be picking them to beat the winner of us and Fort Wayne to go to the next.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I guess this is what it is. It is the region of chips on shoulders. Everybody's got something to play for this region. It's pretty interesting. Got a mix. Chris, Andre, and Kevin, thanks for swinging by Zoom the TBT.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.